Welcome, everybody. It's Beer Guys Radio time.
It is.
It's the best time of the week. It's just a great time. We talk to cool people. We drink beers, and that's the way you do it.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is the way you do it. Good stuff. This week, Snafu Brewing Company. Is it? I'm going to mess up the direct. North or West Charleston?
North Charleston.
Charleston. Okay, North Charleston, South Carolina. Snafu Brewing Company. We've got right now a golden ale that we're getting into, and then we got a lot of cool sours we're going to try.
We do,
but,
yeah.
Scott, thanks for joining us. We're going to get rolling. Yeah. For those that are here watching the live stream, if you have any questions for us, for Scott, for No Mike Nate, we'll share the mic with No Mike Nate. We'll do it. Leave them in the chat. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to chat with you.
Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yo, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Brian Hewitt.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're broadcasting from the Beer Guys Radio Studios, and this week we're talking with Snafu Brewing Company. I'm Tim Dennis, and with me, as always, is my good friend and glassware connoisseur,
indeed,
Brian Hewitt.
Hey, Tim. Joining us today, we have Scott Koon, the owner and head brewer for Snafu Brewing Company. We're going to talk about Snafu's journey, upcoming releases, and extremely creative fruited sours, including one inspired by Elvis. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, excellent. Man. Good times. You know what? I want to start with a shout out here. We want to give a shout out to Jason Murphy, because he spoke very highly of you, Scott, when he did his article, 50 beers, 50 states. He was a very big fan of your beers there. That article on beer drinking or a porch drink. Try and join us this week. He was going to try and join us, but couldn't make it. So maybe next time. But thanks, Jason, for the connection.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this conversation. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Maybe he's watching now. He probably is.
Maybe he is. We'll see. He's with us.
He emailed me and said he was waiting for 8 states samples when we sent our stuff, and I was like, oh, why am I even bothering to send anything into this guy? And then I was very surprised.
See, he got on it, man. Great. Yeah, he got on it there. Good stuff. Well, Scott, we want to ask you something here. This is something certain people have strong opinions on. Other people have no opinions on.
Yes.
But glassware, beer glassware. So I was afraid of. We have lost Scott. Stand by technical difficulties, but Scott is currently frozen. So give us just a moment. Scott, you're back with us?
Yeah, I think I'm back.
All right, good deal. So I wanted to say we wanted to talk to you about beer glassware. And this is prompted by Brian has been having a conversation on Twitter about some certain glassware, and certain people are very opinionated in one direction or another about glassware. But Scott, are you familiar with the bodega glass?
I am not, but I'm very interested to learn about that.
All right. Brian, you want to fill us in on this fancy glass?
So I don't know a ton about it. I discovered it while interacting with people on Twitter, looking at pictures. And I guess Mikkeller made this form of glassware very popular. It's bodega glass. It's the one I have right here is a 17-ounce steel. It doesn't look like it. It looks like a pint glass that somebody sat on, but instead of it shattering, it's squished. So it's shorter and wider. And people swear by it being a great glass. So I don't have a lot of specifics as to why. Some people cite the form factor or the thinner glass compared to a pint. You were saying you think that there might be more of an aroma component to it because there's a wider opening, perhaps.
Yeah.
Though theoretically, the top of the glass is supposed to be about the same width or diameter as your regular pint glass. So we've been sitting here sipping against the tulip and, comparing the tulip pours versus the bodega glass pours. And I've done a little research leading up to the show, but the guys here are trying it out, I think, for the first time. So
yeah, and
exciting.
Now that I look, it's just that the glass is wider where a regular pint glass narrows.
Exactly.
To the bottom. This one does not. So, I mean, okay. I'm not opposed to it, Brian, but you said you actually thought it improved there, right?
In the beers that I've had out of it, I think that the flavor is noticeably, I want to say, more open or more apparent to me. And I think aroma from the wider surface area as opposed to a tulip is part of the reason for that. I felt like I tasted in the various double dry hopped IPAs I was drinking at more of the fruit,
Okay.
And comparing it to the two beers I've just had here, a little bit in each one, I think it's the carbonic acid. There's the carbonation component to it too. I think a lot more carbonation escapes a lot faster out of the bodega glass than it does out of the tulip. And I think that is altering the flavor, which means I think this glass isn't ideal for all beers, but it is great for some, especially those fruity IPAs. So.
Scott, what do you think? Is Brian full of it, or is he on to something here?
You know what? When he said it's shorter and wider, I like that because I'm shorter and wider, So I appreciate that. We sell a lot of flights at our brewery, and I hate watching people drink a little tiny beer because when they put it to their mouth, their nose is on the backside of the glass. So they're really smelling the backside of the glass. I like a glass where we can get your nose inside of it.
That's a good point, especially on like the little tulip tasters or that, because it tapers up there. So you're not going to get your nose in that glass.
You need an oblong glass that allows their nose to be over the beer the entire time. So sip it with it.
Just a crazy, like a nose-shaped glass.
Exactly, a nose-shaped glass. That's exactly what you need.
Do you have a favorite glass? Do you go different glasses, different beers, or do you have a multi-purpose glass you like?
Just the OG pint glass. And then tulip glass sometimes if I want to take a fancy picture. But, I'm a simple beer drinker for the most part.
Okay. We like to play around with glassware here. We have, I think, one that looks like a barbell.
Yes.
And we have a couple that look like mushrooms. I have a skull. I have a crystal skull. And
there's a boot over there, too.
A boot.
Yeah.
Das boot. So,
that's right. Das boot.
It's fun to play around with the different glasses.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is go to the Goodwill and buy $1, glassware. Sure. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
I think I've drank some beers out of some candle glasses.
Yeah, he's got the votive cup. That's his favorite glass. The votive cup glass.
Anything can be a beer glass.
But there's, what, Scott? Great pro tip for people. I don't think they think about heading to the thrift shop for glasses, but there is just a ton of cheap glasses and some nice ones there. So it's a great place to pick up miscellaneous glassware.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's
and we use that random weird glassware for Instagram a lot, just for something new.
Yeah, that was actually why we got some of ours. We this would be fun for pictures here.
That makes a lot of sense. I've wondered where breweries, and I've never seen that type of glass in that brewery ever before, but all of their Instagram pictures are these interesting globular, very tall or very round things that very highly impractical and never would fit into a professional dishwasher.
Like one that's just totally round.
Oh,
the opening, like drinking out of a
a
fish bowl with the opening the size of a Coke bottle top.
Exactly. Yeah. I've seen that right up to the boss pour, right up to the top.
It makes good pictures though.
The boss pour.
It does. The boss pour. Ban the boss pour. Ban the boss pour.
Well, Tim, I think it's time for us to get into the beers of the week.
Brian, as always, great list of beers to get into here. Thank you to Snafu Brewing Company. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, y'all, for sending us some really tasty beers. We cannot wait to dig into even more of them. We are currently in their Primo Golden Ale right now. We've got a line of sours. We've got a Watermelon Jolly Rancher sour. We have a Stoned Age, which is a Fruity Pebbles cereal sour. They pontooned it.
Yeah, they did.
They pontooned it. Yeah. And then is this Strawberry Squared?
Yeah, Strawberry Squared.
All right, man. It's the fun, Brian.
Strawberries on strawberries.
It sounds like a lot of lactose for you, Brian. You better take your pill.
I got a whole box of them over here, so I'll be taking that.
And as always, thank you to our friends at The Nest for sponsoring our beers of the week, craft beer and barbecue downtown Kennesaw, Georgia. If you're in the area, check them out. You will not be disappointed. Brian, you got time to share a news story with us?
I think we got some time for that. So the one thing you can count on with social media, in addition to interesting glassware, is scandal. And the scandal of the week appears to be Adroit Theory Brewing's announcement of their, quote, Murder Box variety pack, which features beers named after serial killers and also features their likenesses on cans. We're talking about people the like of Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy here. So much response that I've seen to the announcement features language I can't really repeat here, but a number of people have pointed out that these villains aren't just guilty of being murderers. They've done some other really heinous acts as well, like rape, pedophilia, etc., cannibalism, all that kind of crazy stuff. The last I checked, there really wasn't any response from the brewery. They, I think they took down one post on one of their social media accounts, and the others are still up there inciting rage. So
yeah, I think they took down the main one that was advertised in the murder box, but then later on, didn't they tweet something?
They did
about like a bonus beer,
the Ramirez,
like
which I think it was one of the ones in there, and I don't even know which killer that is, but I'm sure he's a really great guy.
Did you see this, Scott? Did you see this go down?
No, I did not.
All right. Have you ever put any serial killers on any of your beers?
You know what? It's funny that we're talking about this right now because we do a lot of cereal beers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Maureen, our taproom manager, is a murderina. She loves that stuff. And she's always, we need to come out with a serial killers variety pack. And that we've not gone through with that one yet. So,
well, see, you can thank Adroit Theory because they let you know what the public would say if you did that.
Yeah.
They field tested it for you.
Yes.
The answer is no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I remember a cheesy joke that my old uncle, my cheesy uncle, told me one time. He's like, "Hey, did you hear about the murder going around town?" He's like, "I'm like, no." He said, "Yeah, they are finding people with a banana in their bum and they're facing a bowl of milk." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, they think he's a serial killer." And with that, we've got to wrap it up. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, and we will be right back with more from Snafu Brewing. Serial killer, Brian.
Hashtag dad jokes.
Dad jokes.
Whoa.
Dad jokes. I was thinking about dad jokes earlier. Scott, I used to be married. I had a stepson that was in his early teens at the time. And do you remember that song Laffy Taffy?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we stop at some restaurant we go to and we're checking out and they have a box like on the counter there that's Laffy Taffy, where like you put a quarter in and you take a piece or something like that.
Yeah.
And all I do is pick it up and look him dead in the eyes with a cheesy grin and start shaking it around. And he's like, "Oh my God." Oh my God.
He's like, "Please stop. Please."
I'm like, "This is the funniest thing ever." Literally the funniest. Gosh.
That was 3-6 Mafia, right?
Who did? No, that was D4L, I think, did Laffy Taffy. D4L. Interestingly enough, we'll throw this out for the folks. We are going to have Grammy nominated rappers on our show next week.
We are, yeah.
Nappy Roots. Nappy Roots, founded at Lantucky Brewing here in Atlanta.
That's
friends
awesome.
of the show, cool guys, and we've talked to them over the years as they homebrewed, started planning their brewery, and they are launched, open, and serving in Atlanta. So we're going to catch up with them now that they've actually got opened up. So.
It'll be cool. How many times have they been on the show?
I don't even know, man, because sometimes they're like, "Hey, we're around. We're going to pop in."
I think, they did just drop in at one. I think at one point you can do that if you have a Grammy. You could just drop in places.
So one of their friends, they didn't win the Grammy. Grammy nominated, gold records and all this.
Oh, it wasn't okay.
But one of their crew won a Grammy for concert photo.
Oh,
so they were at the brewery one day drinking beer out of a Grammy. And I'm like, I absolutely have to get down there and drink beer out of a Grammy. Like that's number one on my bucket list right now.
Wow. I was thinking the last time we were there, I didn't even know I needed to do that or get a picture of it. I at least need to get a picture of it.
Like our buddy Scott Hadeen's got all those Emmys. You can't even drink beer out of an Emmy.
What good is an Emmy? Get out of here with that.
Scott, Emmys. He's got so many Emmys, he keeps them in like a laundry basket. Scott,
he does. Yeah. He does have a laundry basket full of Emmys.
Yeah.
And I think I remember hearing a Nappy Roots song where they talked about lambic framboise. So I remember when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my God, these guys actually know something about beer."
I wouldn't doubt. I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't say that because they did. Even their older songs they talked about like
Red Stripe.
Red Stripe was one of the first ones, and now when they rap about beer, it's usually sipping at Lantucky.
Yes, of course. Now they.
But yeah, man. I need to look. But will you check and see if you have a bottle of Humdinger for next week?
I'm almost 100% sure I do.
Okay, because Scales said he drank all his, so he does want us to open one.
Oh, of course. Now he wants to drink mine. Come on, man.
Guys, we've got something here. First of all, we want to say hi to Steve and Pete from Kettle Rock Brewing. And Steven just reminded us a good friend of ours, friend of the show, Scott Norwood, passed away
from
Social Fox Brewing. And as far as I don't know exactly what happened, this was totally unexpected. I don't think he was ill. You actually were hanging out with him at Kettle Rock.
I saw him at Kettle Rock. He dropped in for their first anniversary. There's somewhere out there's a picture of us hanging together, and I'm looking for it. I haven't been able to find it yet.
Social Fox posted it with the pictures they posted of Scott. So your pictures.
Okay, so it's in there.
Along with Steven.
Yeah.
And
Joseph Cortez. Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah.
So it's on there. So we want to send out our condolences, thoughts. Oh, was it Steven? Okay.
Died in a car crash. Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead and put it up there. We just want to let people know there was a car accident. So
okay.
Scott, good guy,
really
super nice guy. And our sincere thoughts and condolences out to his friends and family.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's tragic.
Terrible stuff. And that, you know what, everybody know how quick things happen.
Yeah.
Because Brian was, they're all smiles and sharing beers on Saturday. So.
Yeah, seriously. I saw the picture and I didn't immediately read the text. I'm like, oh yeah, I just hung out with him. I saw the text. I'm like, no way. Yeah.
Anyway, gosh. So anyhow, Steven, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. I'm glad that we mentioned that there. Scott, what should be our next beer that we get into here? Is there intensity levels to these?
The remaining three are all probably about the same. I'd say go with the watermelon Jolly Rancher. That's probably, watermelon's a fairly mild flavored fruit. Maybe go with that one.
Okay.
We're organizing our beers by fruit intensity.
That's right, fruit intensity.
This week.
Is there a scale for that?
Good stuff.
FBUs, fruit beer units?
If there's not, we need to create.
Yeah.
That's it. Exactly.
Fruit beverage units.
Yeah.
Something.
Hey, Scott, just real quick, man. We are losing you a little bit in and out. If you have anything else on your internet connection or anything that you can close down, it will definitely help you if you do.
Got it. Let me see what I can do here.
I shouldn't have filled this whole gold now because now I got to chug it to make room for the watermelon.
It's like you were very proud of. I'm going to fill up this entire bodega glass.
It just sounded so refreshing.
Yeah, exactly.
So refreshing.
There's a little bit more here if you want some of that.
No.
Yeah, you know what? The strawberry squared. Strawberry is a light fruit, but squared. Now we're talking about like that could get crazy big.
Serious.
I don't know
business.
That one is strawberry with strawberry Nesquik.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Let's see. All right.
Is Nesquik, is that a powder or is that a liquid? I don't remember now.
It's a powder.
Yeah, they come in those rectangular cans, right? You pop the lid off. That may be older. I think they may be plastic now. So
I do remember I know for a while, I think they were actually cardboard, but they had edges that made them look metallic. Right. Yeah. So they really weren't metal, but parts of them were kind of. All right. Got it going around.
That's watermelon. That is as described. And you get a big aroma in this glass. See, I should have poured this into my globe glass so I could have checked the differences there.
Yeah, I'm starting there, and let's see. I might pour a little.
I do think this delivers more aroma.
The bodega?
Yeah. Here.
See, that's what I thought too, but I think it also cuts some of the carbonation. So if the beer is you like it effervescent, it might not be the right glassware for that. But for aroma, it's really good. Yeah, I guess if you have a lot of CO2 escaping, it's carrying a lot of aroma with it, probably.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh wow. I think I taste the rind in there too.
Very
in this beer it has a watermelon puree and watermelon Jolly Rancher slushy mix. And of course marshmallow fluff, because every sour we make now has to have marshmallow fluff in it.
Okay, so is there lactose, or do you get your creamy sweetness from the fluff?
So we do both.
Okay, gotcha. All righty.
As Brian goes for his pill.
That's it. Get that, Mr. Lactose Intolerant.
Only mildly intolerant. It won't be the end of me, but
yeah, and we don't lactose it a ton. It's we're on the lower range of the acceptable lactose spectrum for most of our sour beers.
Oh,
with the fluff.
Shoot, I have the chewable ones. I hate these chewable ones. Man, that's the worst. I'm like, I'd rather have the pill. This leaves a thing in your mouth.
Just take your medicine and get on.
I know. Damn my system for not being able to handle lactose properly.
It's not like you're going to avoid it. May I have some cheese?
Heck no.
Some cheese and smoothie beers, please.
Yeah, if I did that, I could never have charcuterie plates. Well, I could. I could have the only meat,
just all the
meat and the olive portions of it. But where's the fun in that?
Right.
Oh, right. Yeah. No. Oh, man.
Imagine pizza with just no cheese on it. Yeah.
Why would you eat
Terrible. Yeah. All right, Brian, let us know when you're situated. Let's get back at it.
All right. Oh, yes, I think I've got all that out of the way. Woo.
Good.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Yep.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. Remember, all episodes are available on demand. So if you missed the broadcast, get the podcast. Beer Guys Radio is available on the Podcast Park and all popular and unpopular podcasting apps. Now let's get back to Snafu Brewing Company.
Scott, we just opened one of your beers here, a Watermelon Jolly Rancher Sour, and I imagine this name tells us what we're getting from this beer, correct?
Yeah, sometimes we try to do cute names. Other times we just try to say what it is,
Do you run into any issues using the name, the name Jolly Rancher in your beer? Or has there ever been a problem with that, or do they kind of look the other way?
We not yet. I'll say that. I'm waiting. I am waiting though.
Hey, man, a cease and desist is a great marketing tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
It's like winning an award at one of the competitions. Just frame it, gold frame, and put that right on the tap room wall.
Use Stone in the name of one of your beers, because man, that's going to get you all kinds of publicity here.
Yeah, Stone.
Yeah. If you use Stone, it'll get you good marketing there. But this is tasty. So, Scott, tell us a little bit more about this beer.
Well, first I just want to mention the Primo, the Golden Ale. I sent that as a curveball. Just we get known and pigeonholed as the sour brewery. The Golden Ale is something that's probably my favorite beer at the brewery. It's just a beer flavored beer. So we can do other things, but the sours, you come to the brewery, we always have about 10 to 12 sours on draft, and then a few can options as well. So this is obviously one of our canned sours that we have right now. And it's kind of our normal base sour, and it's just conditioned on watermelon puree, watermelon Jolly Rancher slushy mix, and marshmallow fluff or creme, as I believe the can says.
So when you say conditioned on, what happens there? You spend some time specifically aging on those ingredients, or?
So, when we first started doing sours at Snafu, I kind of was doing them the way I've done sours at the other breweries I've worked at, which is you add the fruit while it's actively fermenting, and you ferment out all of the fruit sugar. Now we do it the exact opposite way. Once it's done fermenting, crash the beer down to 32 degrees, let it sit, get all the yeast out, then add all of your adjuncts. That way you kind of retain as much flavor from the adjuncts as possible.
That's
what we call conditioning.
Okay. And I think one of the big things with the heavily fruited beers that we always hear about is making grenades, basically.
Absolutely.
Does the process that you're using, does that help minimize that risk?
I think it does help minimize it. And what we're doing is probably fairly similar to what most of the other guys are doing as well. For us, really the biggest thing we do is I get all of our canned beers tested for any sort of spoilage, bacteria and all that, just to make sure it's a completely clean beer. And that really helps out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking. Get it in there nice and clean. Don't give it a lot of stuff to feed on if you're putting a ton of fruit in there.
Yeah. So
yeah, and I just saw somebody on Untapped rate one of our cans, a beer like this that's about a year, maybe a year and a half old, and they still liked it. So
that's good sign.
Apparently, if it's kept in the refrigerator, it'll be all right for quite a while.
That is a good sign. So you don't do any kind of pasteurization or anything either, because it seems like that might be something that I don't know if that would harm the flavor though. For some people it does, I think.
I've done a lot of testing on that, and I've kind of figured out what works for us. It just we aren't doing that now. Our distributors are always asking us, can we get one of these? Most of our distribution beers draft, and they're always asking for cans. And to me, it just seems like a nightmare, heat pasteurizing, and then it goes and sits on a convenience store shelf for 6 months. It's just that's not the game we're trying to win or play. We just can small amounts and get it out fresh.
I think that breweries should start doing cans where they put. Do you know the aquarium thermometers that like stick on the side of the aquarium?
Yeah.
Put that on your can and mark the point where it gets too hot, where it's like going to blow. So so people can look. It's like buy before right here.
Yeah,
on the thermometer.
It's got a little bomb on the side of it. It turns red. Like, oh, don't touch that one. That's dangerous.
Which I think would just be great for beer marketing if people knew that it was going to explode.
The beer stores have like an explosive suit in the back. They got tongs to remove it from the shelf when it hits a certain temperature.
Exactly,
that would be great.
Yeah, it's such a good idea. I'm surprised nobody's done that yet. And it kind of reminds me of Coors Light when the Rockies get blue, your beer's cold.
There you go.
You remember this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
sure
absolutely.
Enough, there's so much potential out there with labels. I saw recently where they had a fancy name for it, but they've done something where like a printed label or something can have a moving image on it. It's like a gift, but maybe more like one of those prism things where it's just like 2 or 3 things.
Is it like the old cover of the National Geographic that had you could look at it from a couple different angles?
I think this was actually some kind of like display with animation. I'd have to look it up, but anyhow, I'm sure it would cost you $100 per can to do that right now, but maybe do as an NFT, Brian.
There you go.
That was Scott. Did you do CBC this year?
I did not.
Okay. Brian said, doing some of his research and follow up that NFTs were a hot topic.
They have been
at CBC this year. So
really,
how are they talking about using them with beer, Brian?
Well, there's a lot of it seems to me to be very kind of mug club-ish type of thing. You get special pours, you get special access. It's supposed to quote unquote build community. Unclear to me how it does that, but the one nice difference between the NFTs and just like a regular mug club is it's not just written down on a sheet of paper. You own that thing, and if you wanted to trade your membership off, you could definitely do that or sell it or whatever. So that's where it's mostly going, and the big player right now who's been pushing it, I think, the hardest is probably Goose Island. AB InBev was I think it was $499 for their NFT, and they actually dropped it $100 because NFTs have kind of tanked.
They're tanking already,
as have cryptocurrencies in general. I think across the board. So it's an interesting time. I think there's people are cautiously optimistic that there's something here. I'm unsure that there's
now is the time to swoop in and get that $700,000 monkey for like $32.
That's right. You know what? If it really is only $32, I'd buy it just because
just to get that. So we were talking about Scott. I did see a brewery one time, Scott, that did I think it was a custom beer and maybe some custom labels. So you got the person bought the NFT that gave them the rights to the artwork that was used on the label, and then you got some custom beers and stuff with it. So are you into NFTs and cryptos and all that, Scott?
Yeah, no, not at all. I am probably the most technologically, I'm 35, but I have the soul of a 85-year-old.
Grandpa Scott, he's not into those NFTs.
Well, 85-year-old that can brew, fruited sours and like these very creative.
He's a cool grandpa, right?
Even our brewery, the way we're set up, it's very analog. Our brew house is old enough to legally drink its own beer, and most of the buttons on it are 86. It's got one button that works.
And it still brews good beer, so there's no need to replace it, right?
No, I love it.
See, exactly, man.
You learn how to brew on it. It's like driving a car or something. It brews a specific way.
Yeah.
If you introduce new equipment, you have to get used to that new equipment.
Sure,
no matter what, no matter how high tech it is, it's going to do something different, and the flavor will be off. You'll have to spend time dialing that back in, and who knows, you might never get the flavor back because you may never be able to replicate what the old system did.
Even on our home brewing system with them little 5-gallon batches, small changes would make a big difference.
Oh,
in what we did there. So it's something. But this, I'm enjoying my watermelon Jolly Rancher. And like Brian said a little bit earlier, Scott, I really like the refreshingness of that white part of the rind, like before you get into the hard, like right where the watermelon ends and the rind begins. And I kind of get a little of that essence in here, along with the watermelon hit and the creaminess.
High on the road.
And now that you're saying that, I had a customer the other day say that it almost tasted like cucumber, and I think that's kind of what he was trying to say.
Yeah,
it almost had that kind of rindy flavor to it.
Yeah, you know what? That I could see how you'd say that is cucumber, because it does taste. Yeah, I never thought about it, but cucumber
and watermelon mixed together. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Along with some notes that say Jolly Ranch to me. There's a certain candy quality to that as well.
It's good stuff. You know what? We need to take a break. When we get back, we're going to talk about the origins and history of Snafu Brewing Company. I confuse Nate when I don't follow my usual routine with the outros, and he's like, when do I come in?
Yeah.
So yeah, gotta be.
I normally cue it on the butt.
Yeah.
But you haven't done it.
Yeah. Sorry. Keeping him on his toes. He's on it though.
You've got verbal cue. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a whole world of communication
like,
happening on that side of the table.
Back, so,
okay.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.
Yeah.
We have an unspoken language.
You know what? Your language of love. I'm not going to pass any judgment on it.
Yeah,
you
don't
guys,
judge our love language.
That's
don't
right.
Do it.
It's what works for you guys, and that's what's important.
It's 2022. I don't take judgment.
That's right.
Nope. All right, I'm ready for more beer. That was tasty.
Yeah, where are we going? Are we ready for strawberries on strawberries, or do we need to go a different direction?
Should we go Fruity Pebbles before strawberry quick?
I think strawberry squared. That might be the move right there. So maybe go next. Yeah.
Boom.
We'll switch it into them strawberries.
Them berries.
With berries and cream. That's it.
Berries and what else?
It's kind of part of the creative process. So this is not in a 16-ounce can because it's still a small batch. And eventually, if we like it, we'll scale it up.
Okay. That's probably a smart move, especially when you're doing some interesting and very experimental combinations of flavors and ingredients.
Yeah, absolutely. We got 30 barrel fermenters, so it's a little nerve-wracking to dump a whole bunch of Nesquik in a 30 barrel fermenter without ever having done it before.
It's so clumped up and stuck on the sides.
Yeah.
The biggest chocolate milk party ever. Strawberry milk.
I was gonna say that sounds like it's probably weird and dirty. I'm sure it's on Urban Dictionary somewhere.
So here's one. Martin House Brewing, Scott?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So some of the crazy stuff they did. They were on Facebook asking people, what's the next summer drink we should make that hasn't been done? What should we make as a beer? And of course they had lots of suggestions, but I just thought of something that my uncle and my cousin drank that has never been a beer. So here's one for you, Scott. We offer terrible brewing advice free of charge.
Yes.
So no invoice for this. You're free to use it on your own. A Pepsi milk beer.
Pepsi milk.
Yeah.
Pepsi milk.
Yeah. And that's just as you would think it is. It's Pepsi and milk.
Wow.
Yeah. You ever heard of that, Scott?
I've never heard of that. That's an actual drink people make. They pour Pepsi into the milk.
Like I've known a few others.
Where was that
happening?
Virginia. Okay.
Like Norfolk, Virginia area. So yeah, Pepsi milk.
Yeah, people get freaked out about dairy, but I mean, dairy is a great chaser. It's a great mixer. Milk pairs great with so many things.
Yeah. See,
There is a clarified milk cocktail that I've seen that I've been thinking about trying. It won't be lactose free, but it's by all reports surprisingly good and not what you would expect from milk. But I forget the process.
Clarified milk, is that basically is that just the fat, just cream?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. But the
which way do they go with it? Is it skim milk or is it like fat free milk or is it?
I think
like
it might
full fat.
They might go skim with that. I don't recall that. I
The
bring that
White
up.
Russian?
I bring that up without having realized exactly how they do it. But it's something that shows up around the holidays. Anytime we're talking about the warm drinks, the mulled ciders, the mulled beers, that sort of thing, that for some reason always seems to come up in my searches. Somebody drinking a hot milk cocktail, which is crazy. And again, it doesn't look like, and by all reports does not taste like what you would expect from a milk beverage.
I want some golden Oreos with this.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Some Nilla wafers, like a white sandwich cookie with this strawberry milk sour.
Yeah.
It's got a nice little sour touch to it too.
That's something that we kind of try to hit a lot of, is not just have a good flavor, but have some sort of nostalgia factor that's connected with the flavor,
Well, that totally doing that for me, Scott. And I drank more of the chocolate quick, but I can remember getting that stuff down. You put the spoon in it and it all wants to float on the top of your milk. So you got to keep whacking it down in there and stirring. Yeah. But I had my fair share of quick as a kid. Were you allowed to drink that, Brian, or is that the devil's nectar?
Yeah, the devil's nectar. Yeah.
No.
I think quick occasionally, usually because we were broke, it was the inexpensive chocolate mixes, and the reason it floated to the top usually is because you were putting it in a cold beverage. So you put it in hot, you never had a problem with that.
Very fine powder in a cold beverage.
Yeah, just
I did it on hot too, Brian. I think it was just the powdery beverage thing.
I mean, it could be.
I think probably not as much as it would on the cold, but. Do you remember what are your quick experiences, Nate?
I had a lot of it because I don't like plain milk.
So okay.
Just crush some chocolate milk. But I was also a Hershey syrup guy.
You just blast the syrup directly in there. I think if I were going back to do that sort of thing, I would be about syrup probably.
Yeah, do you remember Carnation Instant Breakfast, Scott?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Carnation Instant Breakfast. You're going to love it in an instant, which I really think was just chocolate milk, maybe with some vitamins in it. But they're like, let's pitch them chocolate milk, but tell them it's a breakfast.
Oh, like my wife drank when she was a kid, Milo. It's kind of chocolatey, but it's really full of vitamins and things like that. So it's kind of, I guess they like it. I think I tasted it one time. I'm like, well, if you like it, whatever.
If you like the taste of dirt.
And they have that muscle milk now. Like it's like chocolate milk you're supposed to drink after you work out, apparently. See? So they're always trying to rebrand chocolate milk somehow.
I want to get fight milk, like from It's Always Sunny.
You can. Pontoon made one. And the interesting thing is I think that was the one they made with oat milk instead of actual lactose.
Fight milk helps you if you're on a cut. You can drop some weight with some fight milk.
Some weight.
Yeah.
You mentioned. Go ahead.
Sorry, this conversation we're having here about dissolving, Nesquik. This is something that we debate about all the time at the breweries. How do we dissolve this certain thing into beer?
Yeah. Can we get this to go into beer?
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. All right. This is tasty. Let me see if I can squeeze a little more out of this.
The one thing before we go, you mentioned the Pepsi drink with milk.
So now you're doing both.
Now you're doing both.
Yeah.
You mentioned Pepsi earlier in milk. Did you know that they actually tweeted about it earlier today? Pepsi has infused pepperoni with Pepsi. So there's now pepperoni infused with Pepsi out there.
So here's
apparently.
the thing. My mom used to do a brisket in that she used Coke and brown sugar like in the marinade, and it makes for some fantastic beef. So depending on how they do it, those flavors can enhance, smoked meats and the such.
I'm gonna stand back while they're getting used and just say enhance. Anyway.
Enhanced. All right.
Yes.
Man, these are tasty, Scott. I'm enjoying these, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Nate, I think we're ready to get back at it when you are ready to get us back at it.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys radio show. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our great radio affiliates, WSLW 1310 AM in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. Catch Beer Guys Radio on WSLW every Sunday at 9 p.m. Let's get back to Snafu Brewing Company.
Scott, because we never do things that make sense here, we figured the middle of the show would be a good time to talk about the origins of Snafu Brewing Company.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the name, I think a lot of us probably know Snafu and that, but what prompted you, what inspired you naming your brewery Snafu?
I think most people know the acronym Situation Normal All Fouled Up. That's the PC version.
Right. The nice version.
My name is also Scott, so it works with Scott Normal All Fouled Up as well.
Okay.
I think I don't know. When we were thinking of names of breweries, that one just kind of stuck with me. I think we threw a lot of names around. Specifically, we're in a beach town, so there's a lot of beach-themed breweries, bars, Charleston-themed things. I didn't want to be Charleston-themed,
Sure. Okay.
That was the big thing for me, really.
Okay. Good enough there. And what prompted you to start a brewery?
I am a career professional brewer. It's what I've been doing as my job since I was 21 years old. And I was that kid that was home brewing in my parents' kitchen when they would go out of town for the weekend. So it's just kind of what I always wanted to do, and moved down to Charleston, was a head brewer at a couple breweries, and then finally decided to just open up my own brewery one day.
Now, am I correct? You brewed at Westbrook for a while?
Yeah, I was a head brewer at Westbrook for a little while, and I was also a head brewer at Freehouse Brewery.
Okay. Are you responsible for Westbrook Goza?
No, I'm not going to take credit for that, but I was the head brewer while we were, making that beer. So definitely, I'm just grateful to have gotten to be there and kind of, experience that whole process, because there wasn't a lot of information about, kettle sours. Yeah. When we were putting it in a can, it was like, can you even put a sour beer in a can? Like, is that okay to do?
We use that beer as an example a lot, that it kind of set the bar for what a lot of Americans, especially Americans in like the Southeast, expect out of a Goza. And, if you know Leipziger
Goza, yeah.
It's nowhere near as intense as Westbrook's was. Westbrook's, you could strip paint, dissolve teeth, whatever you needed to do with it. But I've heard so many people that have started with that beer that when they have another Goza that is a little lighter, they're like, well, this isn't sour enough. This isn't sour enough. And it may be more true to style.
Yeah.
But Westbrook messed them up, man. They messed people up for what they
and I will ditto what you just said. When we were making that beer, I'd go around and try as many, German Gozas as possible, and just nothing tasted remotely like it. Like, nothing was sour enough.
And at that time, sour was the hot thing. So more sour, it was kind of like the IBUs back prior to that.
Right.
More. So while we're on the topic of Westbrook, were there any beers there that you do take credit for, out of curiosity?
I think just brewer etiquette now. I'm just grateful that I got to be there. And really, I think it was my experience there kind of was a huge stepping stone to get to own my own brewery one day,
Okay, fair enough.
One of our home brewing accomplishments is that we did a clone version of Mexican cake.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of our friends said they liked it as much or more. Scott, check it out, or more than the original Mexican cake.
Nice, heck yeah,
we didn't even pay them. Yeah, we didn't even pay them for that compliment.
Not most of them. Most of them, but. No, but seriously, we were pleased. It was good. We enjoyed it, and it took us a while. We had to borrow another mash tun because ours wasn't big enough to do the beer.
Got it, yeah. Those are double mashes a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been the years that Mexican cake was actually very hot. It came out like really amped up on the heat. So I think we may have had a little bit of an unfair advantage in that ours was not super hot, but had very similar flavor. I think we nailed it pretty well. So
those are great flavors, and I've learned that heat. It's like some people want their face melted off, and then other people are, they want they want it mild as possible. So it's just one of those things. It's almost you can't please everybody with it.
Well, I remember looking at the reviews for Mexican cake, and people would say, this isn't as hot as last year. It needs to be hotter. This is too hot, so can't, like you said, Scott, you just can't please everyone. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Indeed. So you started really early with brewing. You said you're a career, but I think I read that you started actually home brewing in high school. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. I just usually don't see you really don't see a lot of people doing it that early. We've had a few on that have started that early, but a lot of times it was like, college buddies. We got into it in college.
Yeah. So, one of my sister, who's a bit older than me, she dated the head brewer of Four Peaks out in Arizona. I forget what year that was. That was the late 90s. So I remember I was a middle school kid listening to the quote unquote brewmaster talk about beer, and I was like, oh, you can make beer for a living? That's what I'm going to do. I'm not fit. I'm not fit to do anything else. This is what I'm going to do.
8th grade, people are like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going to brew.
Yeah.
I'm going to brew beer. I'm going to make beer.
So peace out, guys. I'm brewing.
Good luck with all your going to space stuff. I'll be down here making beer. So.
Yeah, I remember senior year of high school, there was like a philosophy of life paper we had to write. And so, what do you want to do with your life? And they would not let me write about being a brewer.
See, lame.
There's nothing wrong. Well, they were uptight back then.
Still kind of uptight with this
stuff. Kind of.
That's Scott, talking about Charleston in general, where being in Atlanta, it's always an area that when someone says, where can I go for a nice weekend? Go to Charleston. Good food there, good scenery, Southern charm in Charleston. How's the brewing scene there? How's beer doing in Charleston?
It is. I can't even tell you how many breweries we have now. I think it's 40. So if you like beer, you like drinking beer, Charleston's a great place. And we got some really, really good breweries as well.
When you're not drinking your beer, what places, if someone came there after they go drink all day Snafu, where are they going the next day?
I think one of the cool things about Charleston is we got breweries that kind of have, we get pigeonholed as the sour brewery. We got Munkel, which is like the Belgian brewery. Charlestown Fermentory is holding it down with the hazy IPAs, so it's kind of really, what do you want to drink? What style of beer do you want?
So I know you don't know the exact number of breweries there, but do you have a sense that the scene is growing on the whole, or is it getting hit a little bit by the various pressures involved lately in beer?
I think the scene as a whole is growing, and I know we've grown almost uncomfortably fast over the past couple of years. Like, it's been crazy just how, and during COVID and everything. So it's been a lot of growing pains and a lot of like, holy crap, what is going on?
Just run it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep up with it. Right?
Yeah. It's like, I never know what's going on. When people ask me what beer I'm brewing next week, it's like, I don't know. Let's see how people like the beer we got coming out this week. So
see what happens with it. Huh? Yeah, that's you could do like a flavor wheel, just spin it and whatever comes up, put that in a sour there,
or like various ingredient wheels and just darts in each one and see. There we go.
See what kind of beer you come.
Yeah, absolutely. And at Snafu, we're kind of somebody just left us a Google review, which I absolutely loved. They called us a dive brewery, which. Yeah, it's probably the greatest way to describe us. We're not a multi-million-dollar built from the ground up facility. We are an old school, dirty, 30-year-old warehouse brewery that's very unpretentious. So we it kind of feels like a college dorm room inside the brewery. I think it's just.
With their review, did they try and say that in a negative light, or was that a positive?
No, they loved it.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say, man, because I've got a few dive bars that I just love.
I kind of like it even more. You're like, we're really just a dive bar. We're a dive brewery, like vinyl seats.
When we first opened up in 2016, I was like, I was ashamed of our dive brewery. Now it's like people love it. They're like, oh, this is what a brewery is supposed to feel like. It's a big warehouse, and when you're in the tap room, you're in the brewery.
See, there you go, man. Go hang out, have a good time at your local dive brewery. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, and we'll be back right after this with more from Snafu Brewing Company. We have a brewer here. Oddly enough, the guy we were just talking about with all the Emmys, Scott Hadeen, Burnt Hickory Brewery. And it's kind of an industrial area, right?
Pretty
industrial,
much. It's an industrial park,
industrial.
like automotive and various things around it. Yeah.
But Scott is an old, he was a TV newsman, a TV news cameraman.
Oh, cool.
He's got his Emmys through TV news, documentaries, different things like that. And a punk rocker. And so his brewery was pretty much what you would picture your buddy's punk rock metalhead buddy's basement or garage to be like, and he expanded that where now it is also an old vinyl shop. Like the tap room is a vinyl shop as well. So he's
old vinyl around there. That is awesome. If you come to our brewery, our bar top is a lot of album covers.
Okay, cool, man. See,
you know what? That does seem to kind of fit with the whole vibe I'm getting with that, because a lot of times I'll go look at a brewery, online and see what the pictures look like. I didn't have a chance to, so that fits in with everything I'm hearing. I think that works.
Yeah. The one thing I try to explain to people, it's like Snafu is a brewery opened up on a brewer's salary, so. Yeah, we a lot of sweat equity, not a lot of cash.
People are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. So sorry to hear that." So, brewer's salary. You had to do this on a brewer's salary. How do you do on a brewer's salary?
The interesting thing, and maybe I should say this in the show, like people have been bitching about how much breweries are doing. Like, not another 12th IPA. I looked at their tap list; they don't have that problem there.
Yeah, that's it. How many IPAs are on your tap list on a normal day?
One.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta have an IPA on there, right?
I think it might have been 2, and I'm like, oh, he does have 2, so maybe that one kicked.
Yeah. I think technically we got one IPA and one pale ale.
See?
Yeah. We got 16 beers on draft, and we try to keep 10 to 12 fruited sours. And it's just one of those things. We're probably the farthest outside of town brewery, so we gotta convince people to get to us. So
gotcha.
That made the fruited sours, and it's also just a very inclusive style. Like our demographic is very wide. A lot of non-traditional beer drinkers, which I appreciate. It's always fun meeting new beer drinkers.
Scott's marketing campaign. Do you want to go somewhere far from Charleston to a warehouse that's dirty and dingy?
Yeah,
come to Snafu.
You want to drink fruity drinks out of a dirty warehouse?
Are you
come to Snafu?
No. Yeah, heck yeah.
All ideas for you. Run with any of them you want.
I was thinking you could say no IPAs, and you'd probably be 50-50 on whether that was a good thing or bad.
You might actually get people like, oh, that's the place that has none. Oh, let's go there.
Have someone come in and say, "Give me a flight of all your IPAs," and you give them a flight tray with one glass in it.
Just
there you go, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, or just one pint of IPA.
That's it. Here you go.
Honestly, put that on the board. The IPA flight.
Yeah,
you should seriously do that. That would be amazing. Oh my god,
I'd love to do that.
Good stuff, man.
My all-time favorite beer style is West Coast IPA. So one day we'll break out one of those.
So interesting that you say that you guys are kind of the sour brewery, but you've mentioned that you really like your Golden Ale, that West Coast IPA. So do you just do the sours just so you're not like everybody else? Why not more West Coast IPAs or stuff like that?
Man, you know what? It's been kind of just a natural, when I was writing the business plan, I did not say, let's focus on fruited sours. When we started off, if you would have looked at our beer lineup in 2016, 2017, it was a pretty standard beer lineup. We did a little bit of everything. And we did we did a fruited sour, but it's kind of more of a Goza style. And it just seems people kind of caught on that, they do a sour that we like. So the sour drinkers really supported us, and I think that's what I've noticed the most. So
okay, cool.
The people that show up to the brewery, I want to keep, supporting them how we can.
Sounds good to me.
Absolutely.
I just realized we're not in the show segment now. I'm like, okay, I better.
I was gonna say you're getting close to start stealing our show material. I was gonna say
I'm gonna steal material here. Sorry, Scott.
You're all good.
There, but
you may.
We do, man. We yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I think we're ready for some fruity pebbles.
Yeah, ready for them pebbles.
Yeah, man. The cereal beers, as I stated earlier, that's been. I'll find a flavor that you just kind of keep riffing on, and people have really enjoyed the cereal beers.
Yeah, those are. Do you know Pontoon Brewing here in
Atlanta? Yeah, yep. They do the Tricks one, right?
Yeah, Smiggles.
Yes, Smiggles, yeah.
And I mean,
that was Tricks and Skittles.
Yep, that was it.
That's exactly right.
I never had it.
You never had it? Okay.
Nah,
you know what?
I think my brewer Christian. I think he might have had it.
Okay. I of course wanted to try it, and I told Sean O'Keefe that owns Pontoon, I expect this to be a train wreck, but he actually balanced it out pretty good.
He did.
The fruity notes were there, and I'm like, you know what, guys, for what this is, it's done well. It's balanced out, and it's crazy popular.
Yeah, he nailed what he was going for, and he got a write up in Forbes or something like that for it,
nice.
and various other places. So
I think that's where I saw it.
You can't go wrong with something like that. You're getting mentioned in Forbes. You're getting mentioned in I forget where else, probably USA Today, CNN, all those other places, because you
get mentioned in Forbes. All these other places
exactly
want to get on that.
Now they see that it's like, all right, they mentioned this. Now we got to write a story about
how do we get in Forbes?
I don't. I'm working on it. I think
we know a couple of people that write for Forbes and Wall Street Journal.
We do.
So we need to go get.
We need to butter them up.
We either need to butter them up or get them drunk and make them do something they regret. So I'm good with either method.
Yeah.
Either method.
Well, let's try the blackmail material first. That's easier, I think, because getting people drunk easy. Buttering them up, a little more work.
L. Sharpton.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta be.
We're coming for you. Yeah. Be prepared to get wild on camera. Anyway.
All right. Oh, look at that, man. That one's a little cream. I'm running. Should I roll the can on these, Scott? Did these settle?
No, you know what? Just go straight up. See how it pours.
Just go straight up. Look at that. Okay. Actually, this one pours a little thicker than the other ones.
Yeah, this one's definitely a bit thicker.
Okay.
And one of the things that I kind of try to pride myself on is that there's not like a lot of the fruit and stuff doesn't settle out. So it should be fairly consistent.
Okay. We got a smoothie seltzer from Crooked
Run?
Crooked Run, yeah. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that right?
Not Stave.
Virginia?
Crooked Run.
It's not Crooked. I think it was Crooked Run. That doesn't feel right, but I think but anyhow, we poured it across 3 glasses, Scott. It looked like 3 different drinks. All right, hold on. So we kind of mixed them all together and re-poured it there. But you're right. I think this one looks pretty consistent here.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Yeah, consistent. Yeah, nicely
cheers,
done,
guys. Cheers.
Yeah, one of the
cheers.
Yeah,
cheers to you too, man. So
it's too bad you couldn't be drinking this beer with us. It's great. You should try it sometime.
I promise you, I've had enough of it.
He's hydrating really well over there.
Yeah,
hitting that H2O, hydro homie.
This one is THICC thick.
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
Scott, we're going to the last segment. I know we've kind of went off the rails and just kind of talked about what was there, but is there anything you want us to absolutely make sure we mention that we have not mentioned yet?
No, man, I feel good about it all. Yeah.
Cool. All righty.
We should definitely touch on some of the recent beers. And there's a few other interesting ones we can get into, but
don't tell me how to live my life, Brian.
Okay. The outline is there, Tim.
You
may peruse it.
I think last month we did a trick sour.
Okay. Yep.
Existential.
I'm seeing some here, and I saw these on the hot tamale peep.
Yes.
I'd love to try that because I'm known for my love and abusive relationship with Fireball.
Yeah. Oh my God, me too.
The Elvis one sounds.
I tell you what, that was a great beer. When I made that beer, I was like, "Oh my God, I cracked the code. This is gonna melt people's minds because they're gonna love it so much." And then we barely sold any of it simply because of the name Hot Tamale.
No, gee. See,
People were so worried about it being spicy.
What if you gone with caliente tamale?
Yeah, well, you know what? I was joking with one of my buddies at New Realm about doing a fuego.
yeah.
A Takis fuego.
Who? Now that's Martin House territory there, man. That's Martin House stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I see you've already used the emojis in some of the names. You could have just replaced the hot tamales with just like the little fire emoji on both sides. On the other side of Peeps Sour.
Right.
Wait, when they drink, it's like, oh, hold on. But all right, we're stealing material for the actual show.
We are. Okay.
We got to get into it.
Let's do it. Scott, we're going to go ahead and get into this last segment here, sir.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Your revolution is over, Mr. Lebowski. Condolences, the bomb's lost.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. If you enjoy the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/beerguys. Patrons get cool perks like Beer Guys swag and commercial-free episodes. Now let's get back to Snafu Brewing Company.
Snafu Brewing Scott Koon,
Skoon,
as he is known to his friends. We just opened another one of your beers here, and we have the Stoned Age, which is a fruity pebble cereal sour. Did you use the cereal in the beer?
Yeah, we actually used the cereal in it, a whole bunch of it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a messy. Was that in the mash?
No, so again, that was kind of the same way we do the fruit, just in the tank after the beer's all cold, you know.
I got to tell you that conditioned on Fruity Pebbles, I love that. This was conditioned on Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah. Very aristocratic.
This was.
Initially, when I started writing the beer descriptions, I used to say things like jacked full of or pumped full of. Yeah, conditioned on sounds much more classy.
Right.
So this tastes exactly like, you know, my bowl of cereal after I've eaten all the pebbles and nothing is left at the bottom of it but the beer.
Right.
Nothing left in my cereal but the beer at the end of it. Yeah, it's just like that. The way I did it growing up.
But I forgot your lactose intolerance.
Exactly.
Right?
So when I was growing up, it was beer. Hey, you know what? It's the other milk. Tim.
It's what's for breakfast.
That's
Brian.
right. It is what's for breakfast.
Scott, you've got a lot of other really cool beers here that we just kind of want to talk about some of the other fun stuff you've done. And we were talking a little bit during the commercial break there, but one that I would have been stoked to try, you did a hot tamales Peeps sour.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved that beer, and it wasn't hot at all, at least not by my standards, you know.
Yeah, just caught the cinnamon, creamy cinnamon there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
See, I'd be all about that.
So I got to read the list.
There's
for
your
people
Boilermaker, Brian.
What's that?
The hot tamale Peeps.
Oh,
with a shot of Fireball in it. There's you a Boilermaker.
Oh yeah. You get a full pint of it. Drop the Fireball in there. Oh yeah. So just for the people listening, you got to hear this: oats, lactose, strawberry, and cherry puree together. Strawberry and cherry, cinnamon, and hot tamales. Hot tamales marshmallow Peeps is the way I wrote this down is misleading. Were they marshmallow Peeps or were they hot tamales flavored marshmallow Peeps?
And they were the hot tamale Peeps.
Okay. I didn't even know those were a thing.
Yeah, recently, the last couple of years, they've just gone crazy with Peeps, all kinds
of things. They have like tropical mango Peeps. They got so many different flavors now.
Yeah.
So it's like the Oreos. They've turned all the Oreos into just anything you can think of. Oh, this is a birthday cake Oreo. Yeah. This is a red velvet Oreo.
Put a bird on it.
Exactly. Put a bird right on it. Yes.
But you said, unfortunately, people didn't go all after that when they got scared off there, huh?
Yeah, they were just scared by the name, I think.
Yeah. Would you do it again?
Yeah. I mean, everybody that drank it really enjoyed it. And actually, I tell you what, the answer is no, because doing anything with marshmallow Peeps is very time consuming and arduous. Gotcha. So
could you just puree it? Could you just puree up some and let people pour it into their beer after the fact that when they're sitting there at the bar?
Yeah, just NutriBullet and kind of do like a rim on the glass with it.
Rimmed with Peeps. Yes.
I love the idea of using a NutriBullet to do Peeps. Of all the things that anybody ever thought of doing,
Yeah,
A few people
I
thought
tell you
about
what,
it.
our NutriBullet at work, it's worked out. That's how the recipe R&D. It's like put something in a pint glass of beer and see if it tastes good. Then put it in a keg of beer, see if it tastes good. Then put it in a 30-barrel tank of beer and see if it tastes good. So,
Man, Scott, this is the best R&D process I've ever heard from a brewer.
First, people are always people get too nervous about it. It's like if it tastes good, it probably tastes good in beer.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, speaking of interesting things like that, we got to talk about one. I think it's a recent release of yours. It's called Elvis Milkshake Peanut Butter Banana Milkshake Sour. I think milkshake's in there twice. So is it a double dose of lactose in there?
No, it's just a typo on our end, probably.
Okay. So, I mean, tell us about you just seriously thought, hey, Elvis used to eat was it sandwiches with banana and peanut butter, right?
Peanut butter,
yeah,
fried up.
Yeah, Maureen, our taproom manager, I think it was her idea. And when she first said it, I was like, I'm not doing that. And then I thought about it and I said, all right, we'll try that. And it honestly, it's similar to something I used to do with our Shadow of Death, our Imperial Stout. So most of our pastry stouts have kind of evolved into fruited sours over the past 4 years.
How did we get here?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I didn't see that evolution happening. Maybe that's happening a lot of places and I didn't realize it, but yes, going from stout over to sour, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't. It makes sense because a lot of the same stuff is in both these days.
See, Scott, now you've got me thinking here. I want a brewery to do like both beers. I want you to do the stout and the sour with the same additions and release them together. I want to come to that release party.
Yeah,
that is a good idea. I kind of like to mess with our customers sometimes and do things like that and see if they notice it. So at one point in time, we had a honey cream latte Shadow of Death, and then we also had, it was the on our lager base, it was just honey coffee vanilla lager. Same exact treatment, two exact opposite styles of beer.
There you go. Right.
Just to see what it's like,
And do the stout as a white pastry stout and do the sour with some darker malts in it to give it some color, so you completely throw everybody off. They're looking at it, it's like, hold up, what is even happening here? I love this already.
Far, Brian.
I see.
Has science gone too far?
That's what I like to do. I like to take it where it's far enough and then take it beyond that. Yes.
Well, Scott, what is in the NutriBullet right now, man? What's in the R&D lab?
So I'll kind of find flavors like right now, kind of on the cereal kick. So y'all are drinking the Stone Age Fruity Pebble Sour. Next month, I believe we're going to have the Stone Age Cocoa Pebbles. So chocolate sour. So, hopefully it'll be a dark sour, which might be a mind twist on people. And then also sticking with the cereal, we had a marshmallow, which was a banana marshmallow sour. We're going to do honey nut marshmallow, which I'm pretty stoked.
Sounds fun to me.
A lot of cereal stuff. The Primo, the first beer you guys had, we're actually putting that one in cans. People aren't nearly as excited about it, but I'm excited about it. So.
Yeah, they don't have to be. I think, didn't we get that? No, we got that in a growler.
Yeah, in a growler.
Yeah, in a growler. Yeah, and I do like the growlers here. Have we seen? I think we've seen these once before. The reusable growlers, which I think is intriguing. Now, I guess it would be single. It'd be single use though. You couldn't bring these back and refill them.
I think as long as they have. Well, it depends on where you take it. To be honest, would you refill one of these if someone brought, or is this a single shotter here?
It depends how well I know the person.
Okay, and just to explain to folks, this is essentially a crowler, but instead of the pop top lid, the lid. Do you sell these the same way as a regular crowler machine? Do these lids like go on a crowler machine?
No, so we use them. The tap room gets so busy on the weekend, it just quality control issues with the seamer. I don't know how many crowlers I've gotten with bad seams. So this is more just user friendly, quicker. There's less issues with leaking.
Okay, gotcha.
And you don't need to do maintenance on a seamer,
on the seamer. Yeah.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
You know what? You got a screw top lid on top where the normal pop top lid would be. Otherwise, it looks like any other crowler.
It won't keep the beer from going flat. You can't keep it for a long period of time, but you can actually seal it back up and keep bugs out of it and whatnot. So put it back in the fridge, and it probably won't go as flat as it would.
A water bottle.
You could.
Yeah.
Wine bank. Throw a pin in there. Multiple uses, man.
Exactly.
So what is something that hasn't even made it to the R&D yet that's just in your head, Scott, that you want to do?
Oh, man.
The tough questions, man.
Yeah, it is a tough question. Well, we're doing a lot of Italian ice stuff with actual like Italian ice, and it's it kind of that's the next stream of conscious stuff that we will be doing. Yeah, I don't know. Most of what we do, it's just a progression of what we've already done. You know, it's like as far as the creative process goes, nothing exists in a vacuum. It's like it's just kind of a progression. You know what I mean?
Exactly. How about going down a different aisle of the grocery store, go back to Goes, get you some bugles, and make a bugles Goza. Goza. Did I say Goes?
Oh, yeah.
Goza is what I meant. Yes, I was saying he goes down that aisle, not go anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
down the aisle, that's a big part. That's a big part of the process. And just walking around the grocery store and seeing what is good. Pop-Tarts. You know, I mean, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm wondering if the chip and various snack would work well in the Goza style, because a little salt going on there. There'll be a little sweetness.
Depends on what you've got there.
But like the Bugles Goza, I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
You try it out.
Yeah.
Crazy. Scott, thanks for joining us, man. Been real fun chatting with you just about some adventurous beers here and drinking your beers. Very good time. If people want to know more about what's going on with Snafu Brewing, what's the best way for them to do that?
Instagram would be the best way. Instagram, Facebook, and the website.
Good enough. Awesome. Scott, thanks again, man. We really appreciate you joining us.
I really appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of the Beer Guys Radio Show. Join us next week. Our friends from Nappy Roots at Lantucky Brewing are going to be here to chat with us. The brewery's open now, Brian.
It is,
so we're going to talk with them. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you need more craft beer info, follow us online. We are Beer Guys. We are Beer Guys Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great week. And don't forget to drink local. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'll fix that train wreck in post.
Can't do anything about the live stream,
man. That was fun.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
Stouts. We have heard of stouts. We've heard of these, Patrick. We have heard of these. You know, some say that if you like stouts, there is a stout for all seasons.
Yeah, some do say that.
Stouts are for summer.
Yeah.
You don't let the season tell you how.
Some guys might say that.
Some guys
possibly
might say that.
Guys that are into beer.
They could. They could, man. They could. Awesome.
Yeah, Guinness. Guinness is probably one of my all-time favorite beers. I mean, Guinness goes every season.
Man, we just, you know what I thought of? We like to drink stupid beers, and I know some people think they're, you know what? There's some pretentious guys out there. I only drink side project batch one. That there's only 2 of these that have been made. Man, I'm gonna drink stuff. We crushed some Yingling at the bowling alley.
Yeah, that was delicious.
A few months ago, and it was the best Yingling I've ever had. It was great. You know, I love Bud Light canned Micheladas.
Yeah.
Love them. So,
Coors Banquet beer, one of the all-time.
Yeah. Brian and I checked out this cool restaurant in Atlanta, and they had, I'm sure you know Halfway Crooks here in Atlanta.
Sounds familiar.
Okay, lager guys. You know, they're doing a lot of lagers and stuff like that, but just stellar beer. But this place had one of their beers on, and then Coors Banquet beers.
Yes, that's
so
right.
It's like,
awesome.
You know, got that. But
and it was a very fancy establishment, and I did order the Coors Banquet.
You did.
I did.
You did.
Like, yes, please let me take one of those.
I'll take the Coors Banquet along with the aubergines and slightly charred pork cheeks in a fennel salad.
It's fancy.
Yeah, probably like 10 years ago.
That's right.
One of my brewer buddies went to the Coors facility out in Golden, Colorado, and he got to drink the Coors Banquet beer before they like proof it down. So it was like a 9% Coors Banquet beer.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
See that?
I want to try that.
I've heard some people that have done the Budweiser tours because we've got an AB InBev brewery like 10 miles north of us here. And they've said the same thing, that if you drink this before you prove it down, it's really good. And, you know, we dry hop some Bud Light and even just add some hops character to it. I was like, I drink this, man. I would drink this.
You know what? A little bit of, and it's not too hard to, you could do it, DIY it. It's very easy to extract some interesting hop flavor out of some hops from a homebrew shop.
Yeah.
And just a little dropper in your beer, and boom, you've taken an inexpensive but well-made beer and turned it into something that's a little bit better than what it was.
Yeah.
And
Scott,
probably worth doing.
Is Sarah there with you?
Yeah, she is sitting on the couch right now.
Tell her to come say hi. We've been trading emails. She ought to come say hi here.
If she wants to.
If she wants to. No pressure.
You know,
no pressure.
I have dry hopped a lot of Budweiser.
Yes. It's good stuff, man.
Is your camera frozen?
Yeah, it's a little frozen.
Oh.
Hey, Sarah.
A little bit.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for your help with everything. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. We've enjoyed this a lot. It's been a good time.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Good time. We got to get up to Charleston. Like I said, Atlanta always gets recommendations. Hey, go to Charleston for a weekend. I still haven't been yet. So
come.
Yeah, come
let us know.
Yeah, when you're here, let us know.
We'll do.
You can come check out the Dive Brewery.
Come check out the Dive, man. That sounds like my kind of place. Yeah.
Go
if
chill
you're
in the
staying at
dive
the beach, you have to drive an hour to get to us.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, we know what's up then. You know, there are, like, I understand some. Look, there's some breweries that want to be finer dining, so to speak, but there's a few that I've been to that I did feel were they've crossed the line into pretentious. I'm like, this isn't enjoyable, man. I'm here to drink a beer. I'm not. I don't need to put on white gloves and take a background check to see if I'm cool enough to drink your beer here. You know, I just want to have a good time.
No shirt, no shoes, no problem kind of.
No
place.
problem, man. Come in.
we had somebody ask if they could bring their pet goat, and we were like, "Yeah, if you have a goat, you want to bring it, bring it." You know, we're cool.
Hang on. Did you try any goat milk in any of your beers? Because that might be a thing.
No. I thought about it a lot. I actually made cheese professionally for about 3 months.
Okay. All right.
And milk stouts, they used to actually use the whey from the cheese making process. So I thought about it. So that might be on the horizon one day.
You should just put a sign up at your brewery that just says "Goats Welcome" with no other explanation.
Yeah. Goat owners get their first beer free.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
a good promotion.
That would bring some goat owners in, I bet. Man.
I bet it would.
That sounds exactly like the demographic we want to.
See? Yeah.
It's like
stuff.
Yeah, that brewery is kind of divey and kind of goaty. Like,
Very
did you say goaty? What does that even mean?
Yeah, it's like, oh, just go check it out. You'll see.
You'll get it.
You can drink a Trick cereal sour beer while petting a goat. I mean,
see, your marketing campaign gets better as the show goes on here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I liked the one. What was it?
Oh,
I forget which one of you said it.
Do you want to travel far out of Charleston and come drink in a divey basement?
Yeah.
Snafu Brewing is for you.
Yeah, perfect.
Good stuff.
The goatiest beer in or around Charleston.
Right. Exactly. Scott, hang just a second. I'm gonna clear our live feed and be back to wrap up with you there. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure to join us next week. Atlantucky Brewing will be here. Come ask those guys any questions you want. Hang out and have a beer with us. We'd appreciate it. Cheers.